Week 4 of the NFL season is here. How it's already week 4, I have no idea, but you know what that means? We need to predict and preview each of the NFL games this week. This is the last time for a while we get to see 16 games because the bye weeks do start in week 5. Thursday night football, the Seahawks and Cardinals, 43.5 points. Cardinals, as of right now, are favored in this game. Now, all of the talk has been Seattle, the way the defense has looked. That performance against the New Orleans Saints, how dominant that they played throughout. Sam Darnold rolling to his right, rolling to his left. Smith and Jigba. The run game has come alive. I think Arizona Cardinals win this game. I have been disappointed by the play of wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. so far this season. Some big drops last week. I think he bounces back in a major way, and the Cardinals get the win at home. Relying on some good play defensively. Starting cornerback Will Johnson, he's a rookie. He'll have the responsibility at times trailing and covering Jaxson Smith and Jigba. So a great matchup. Former Wolverine guarding a former Buckeye. Cardinals win 24-23. Chicago Bears head to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Now, Chicago was in a big hole. Blown out by the Lions, a loss already to Minnesota, and here come the high-flying Dallas Cowboys into their building. It helps that CeeDee Lamb goes down in the first half of this one, but that doesn't change Caleb Williams. One of the best games, if not the best game of his young career. Throws 4 touchdown passes, a 142.5 rating, and that was good enough for them to beat Dallas. Now, against the Raiders, he will need to do a lot of the same. This is a Raider team featuring Max Crosby off the edge. The Bears tackles, they'll have to absolutely play well to keep Caleb upright. He has been upright more. The first time of his young career, he had not been sacked in a game last week, so that is a positive. Don't like the matchup for the Raiders here, going up against that Chicago Bears offense and all the weapons they have, as well as how the Raiders have not protected Geno Smith at all this season. Like the Bears to win this game 27-20, maybe not that close. That Bears offense is starting to pick stride, and the run game hasn't gotten going yet. Ashton Genty, is he able to break one? We haven't seen him do it quite yet. Bears win 27-20. The Vikings and the Steelers, the Dublin game. Minnesota's favored in this one. They put the hammer to Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals last week. What a performance they had. And the Pittsburgh Steelers pulled out a wacky win on the road against the New England Patriots. I've got the Steelers 20-17. Look, I've got faith that their defense will handle Carson Wentz. I know Kevin O'Connell is the quarterback whisperer. They get Jordan Addison back for the first time this season off of the suspension. The weapon, Justin Jefferson there, Jordan Mason running the football. Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf had a nice connection last week. Believe that they will continue to foster that relationship, that quarterback-wide receiver duo, towards success moving forward on the season. You have to like what you saw from Pittsburgh. 2 red zone takeaways. Often you won't be able to rely on that, but it's a good sign. The defense is opportunistic. 20-17, Pittsburgh beats Minnesota. The Chargers and the Giants. Hello, Jaxson Dart, and welcome to the gauntlet that is the schedule you have to face this season. He is in a tough spot. They're at home, which helps, but the Los Angeles Chargers are arguably the best team in the AFC right now. At least they are playing like it with their quarterback play. Justin Herbert has been unbelievable. The weapons there now. Ladd McConkey in the slot. He's been special creating space. Keenan Allen's return after a year hiatus with the Bears. He's already a featured weapon. And Quentin Johnston, that big year 2 to year 3 leap that not many people were expecting. I certainly wasn't. Johnston, in a big way, might even be the favorite target currently for Justin Herbert. I've got the Chargers with a big win, 31-17 on the road. Don't like that Jaxson Dart seemingly has an offensive line with Andrew Thomas not being fully healthy going against one of the best defenses in football, the Los Angeles Chargers. Not a good matchup. Would have maybe liked to see them wait a week to start Dart against the Saints in week 5. The Titans and the Texans, a battle of the 0-3 teams. The loser of this game is likely done at 0-4. Houston, the big favorites. They have not been able to run the football without Joe Mixon, and they have not been able to protect their quarterback, CJ Stroud. Also, another not what they're able to do is have someone else develop into that number 2 target for quarterback CJ Stroud. They just don't have a guy for Stroud to get the football to consistently. They go with the 2 kids from Iowa State. They haven't materialized so far in the year. The young rookie Ursary had a tough matchup throughout the day against Josh Hines Allen. He gets a little bit more fortunate this week that he doesn't have to face a superstar like that and the former number 1 overall pick, Trayvon Walker. I like the Texans to win this game, but I gotta say, I was pretty disappointed in their head coach, D'Amico Ryans, just letting them walk in and score at the end of that game. The Titans, if you want to take this one, you have to get production from your wide receivers, and the offensive line needs to find a way to protect Cam Ward. That Houston defensive front 7 is incredible, led by Will Anderson, who's a machine. Texans 31-14. They get the win on the road. The Saints at the Bills, maybe the worst game potential of the entire year. Bills fresh off of that win last week on Thursday Night Football against the Dolphins, closer than they would have liked. I think that will be a positive in their defense here because they didn't overlook them. They just didn't clean out playing with a whole bunch of urgency. That changes here in week 4 at home. 41-17, they blow out the Saints. Spencer Rattler has continued to show he can be the guy. It's just right now in that New Orleans team, first year for Kellen Moore, there's not a whole lot of opportunity against Buffalo. There's no weaknesses really for Buffalo outside of maybe a second wide receiver. A weapon threat, Khalil Shakir works a lot out of the slot. He's good. Coleman's good, but they need to develop a true number 1. Once Stephon Diggs left, they've been trying to find the guy. They hope it's Keon Coleman. Can they do that? That will not be tested this week. Bills 41-17. Maybe the game of the week, Eagles and the Bucs, a battle for NFC supremacy. I like the Eagles in this one simply off of the Bucs offensive line being banged up. You, on the converse of that, absolutely love the way Baker Mayfield has played, the way your rookie Emeka Egbuka has played, who is versatile, lines up in the slot, outside. The kid likes to block like he's an offensive lineman. It's unbelievable that we see him playing at this level already. Sounds a lot like Devontae Smith in the manner of a player that comes into the league that is NFL ready, and he has that touchdown against the Rams to put him ahead in the game. One of the best comebacks that we will see all year. 19 points down against a great Rams team. The Eagles showing why they're the best team in football. I like them to win this game 27-23. It's their pass rush. It's Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, and those dominant guys up front. Jordan Davis, who's dropped about 25 pounds, going up against that hurt offensive line. Don't think it bodes well for the Bucs. A.J. Brown, do they continue to open it up a little bit more, pushing the ball down the field to A.J. Brown? Like we saw at the end of the game, they were consistently moving the football, pushing it down the field, moving that Rams secondary back. Haven't gotten Barkley going yet, so that's a sign that this team can still beat you without maybe their best player not getting loose. That's a tough team to beat. Eagles 27-23. Panthers and the Patriots. New England, they found a way to lose against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mentioned in that Pittsburgh game, but turning the ball over twice inside the 5. A wide receiver in Demario Douglas that sets up short of the sticks, doesn't reach his landmark beyond the first down. They don't pick it up. They lose to Pittsburgh. That 4th and 1, they're stopped trying to tie the game at the end. On the other side of it, the Carolina Panthers, very strong performance. I'm concerned, though, still about Xavier Legette. He has not at all played like the guy he was at South Carolina. They were banking on traits on him. The traits have not translated into productivity in the NFL. I like New England. They get Christian Gonzalez back this week, star cornerback for them. I think New England 23-16. They pull off the win at home. Maybe they get Travion Henderson going, who has not yet reached that tap potential of the expectation of what he could be being a second round running back. I do love my defensive backs to be physical. Lathan Ramsey in the back end in there. Expect him to have a really large impact play in this game. He only played half the snaps, but already he was all over the field. Nose for the football. He's a guy to keep your eye on. Colts and the Rams, an underrated matchup. Before the season, might have thought this would be an easy win for Los Angeles. Now it's anything but that. LA has a 3-0 Indianapolis team coming in there. They don't turn the football over. They run the heck out of the ball. And their quarterback, Daniel Jones, is playing with a ton of confidence. They've got weapons for him. Tyler Warren is getting his target share just like he did at Penn State a season ago. But that Rams defense, led by, in the middle, Braden Fisk and Jared Verse, who had a strip sack last week against Philadelphia. If they played that way against Philly and they had him on the ropes, had him on the mat, on their back, just let him off the hook, believe that there's a certain energy and a level that will not yet be reached by LA this early in the season that will later on. And what is that? Devontae Adams unleashing him on the outside along with Nakua. All the great teams that threaten to win championships have good defenses. The Eagles last year, 2 elite outside weapons. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Adams, Nakua. Good run game. They've got that in Kyron Williams and Corum. I like Stafford to beat Daniel Jones. Rams 24-18 at home. SoFi will be packed. It'll be loud for this one. Great matchup. Bengals and the Broncos. Jake Browning, very tough day last week. He'll face that Denver Broncos defense that is a little bit similar in the aggressive nature to what Brian Flores' team showed from Minnesota a week ago. Don't think that we're going to see 2 defensive touchdowns against you, but Denver I do like in this matchup. It's tough if you lose your starter, but the Bengals will have to make do. Still, the defense hasn't played up to a standard where you're very confident that this team could stop Bo Nix in this attack that had a brief 8 minutes there in that game against LA where they came out, bam, with the touchdown to Cortland Sutton at the end of the first half. They got a takeaway in the second, and they were really pulling away from LA, but that is a good Chargers team. I like the Broncos 26-17. The defense is good. Have to get the run established. Keep doing that. That's good. I love Nix outside the pocket, using his legs. He's such a good dual threat player. Will we see Troy Franklin a little bit more? I'm still waiting for them to really break out after they had that crazy good connection with Oregon a couple years ago. Browning versus Nix. Nix gets the win. The Packers and the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Green Bay about a touchdown favorite on the road. Makes sense. No CeeDee Lamb for Dallas, and they don't have Micah Parsons, who's now on the Packers. Talk about a swing in points for that one. You might see a 3-point swing. Might have been something like a 3-point differential if they had Micah Parsons and Lamb without 2 of their best players from what would be a season ago. Hard to think that Dallas stands a chance in a 4-quarter battle. This can be close, but as Green Bay's physicality wears on them, great edge play, 4.5 sacks on the season in 3 games from Rashawn Gary. Is Devontae Wyatt healthy? We don't quite know for this game. There is the injury to Zach Tom for the Packers, right tackle, and they have not at all ran the football effectively yet. So the advantage goes Dallas, but Dallas's secondary, even with Deron Bland back, have to be really nervous about this matchup against Green Bay, seeing what the Bears just did to you, seeing what the New York Giants just did to them. And we talked about Philly, so conservative against the Dallas Cowboys in week 1. You would think that teams are starting to get the idea. You throw the ball on the Dallas Cowboys, those zones and Matt Eberflus's defense are just not good enough at the moment because they can't get a pass rush. Can't get guys to the quarterback. Packers, I do believe, win this one closer than expected. 30-26. Cowboys don't have their guard, the rookie Tyler Booker. I love his play coming in from Alabama. That's a big loss. They've ran the football very well, over 5 yards a carry on the season. But I like Green Bay on the road Sunday night. It's like the NFL knew it was going to happen with the trade before the year started. The Jets and the Dolphins Monday night. As of right now, the status at quarterback is unknown. I'm going to say Justin Fields plays, but to be honest, I like the Jets winning this game either way. The way the Dolphins looked was a positive trend last week. Sometimes you come out with urgency. That's what they did on the opening possession. Defensively, they'll be going up against a dual mobile quarterback. It seems Justin and Tyrod have about the same baseline level. The ceiling for Justin is a lot higher, but I like the Jets and Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. They have the weapons. It's clear and obvious that the tackles are still developing, that Membu on the right side, Fashanu, these guys will turn into great players, but the Dolphins just don't have that elite guy on the edge. Kenneth Grant in the interior, he's becoming a player, but don't think the Dolphins have it. At home, they dropped to 0-4 against the Jets. A battle of two of the best teams in football the past half decade, the Ravens and the Chiefs at Arrowhead, and these teams come in 1-2. So somebody, whether it be the Baltimore Ravens and their two-time MVP or the Kansas City Chiefs and their two-time MVP, will be 1-3. It can't be the Chiefs because it looks like the Chargers will be 4-0. You've already lost to them. You can't drop to 1-4 on the year, be 3 games back when the Chargers currently hold that tiebreaker. It almost seems like the Chargers would start to run away with that thing. This is a must-win for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Ravens, the way the division looks, Pittsburgh, it feels like you could beat that team twice. Cincinnati's no problem. Cleveland, although they played very well against the Packers, that offense really is quite broken with Flacco at quarterback. We've seen Quinshawn Judkins be a weapon running the football, getting him going more, but Myles Garrett runs that thing. So Baltimore, not a must-win, but you just don't want to see this team drop to 1-3. Came with an expectation you can compete for the 1 seed. Really, the loser of this game, no shot at the 1 seed. You would frankly flat out say that Baltimore is favored in this matchup. The Chiefs don't have Rice. They've got a Travis Kelce that has lost half a step. His play has been good, but not to the play level he has been at. The left tackle looks good, Simmons, but the offensive line, lots of question marks in protecting the quarterback. Mahomes has been running for his life a lot. They don't have the run game established, so that means he's taking more hits. A lot of negative signs for KC. Baltimore's defense, lots of holes throughout it, and is this a chance to get some confidence and play a better football game? I do believe that it is. I have the Ravens winning this game on the road 27-24. They ultimately have enough. The Chiefs, without their stars on the outside and Worthy and Rice, they will have a tough day against Baltimore. The Jaguars and the 49ers, both of these teams, right? They've had good starts to the year. Jacksonville 2-1, San Francisco 3-0. As of right now, it looks like Brock Purdy will be starting on Sunday. I like the Niners no matter what in this game to lose. I think Jacksonville goes out there and gets a win on the road. Trevor Lawrence has been so roller coasty his entire career. Roller coasty. I just made up the word. I like it. We're going to stick with it. The run game has been there defensively. Walker and Josh Hines-Allen getting pressure on the quarterback. Believe they can do that. Neither quarterback is mobile between a Mac Jones or Brock Purdy option. The offensive line, putting that together. You just lost your best edge guy in Nick Bosa. That really hurts you already. The injury to Kittle. There's no Ayuk. I mean, this team from a couple of seasons ago is just a shell of its former self. Still yet, they are 3-0 on the year. Believe it, that comes a little bit crashing down with a bad loss to the Jaguars. I've got the Jaguars winning this game by a score of 23-17 by just about a touchdown. Would be surprising as the Niners are decent favorites in this game. The Browns and the Lions, the Cleveland Browns, after a big win against Green Bay, head to what I like to call the fast track in Detroit. I've got the Lions with an emphatic win. The offense for Cleveland just has no vertical threat to it. Flacco is immobile. He's sitting as a statue in the pocket. Aiden Hutchinson's going to come crashing down. Tyleik Williams in the middle of that thing now. The defense with a great performance against Derrick Henry, limiting him. They forced the takeaway with Hutchinson punching that football out. I like the Lions commanding this game 26-13. They've got the best player in football on the other side. I get it. And Myles Garrett, that Schwesinker in the middle of that defense. Denzel Ward, Mason Graham, all of these pieces. I mean, that is a good Cleveland Browns defense. It's just offensively, it looks like it's Quinshon Judkins and not a whole lot of anything else. Truly only scored 3 points in that game against Green Bay. You got set up at midfield after the blocked field goal to win it, and you were given the ball inside the 5 after the Love turnover. I like the Lions to improve to 3-1, the Browns to drop to 1-3 on the season. The Commanders and the Falcons, look, as of now, it looks like Jaden Daniels is going to be a no-go once again on the road. This is a rematch, right? That late game in the season, overtime. The Falcons dropping, I believe, a 14-point lead in the second half. I like the Falcons to win it, bounce back 24-20. Keep getting the football to Bijan Robinson. Michael Penix, a couple of bad throws last week. Didn't look comfortable sitting there in the pocket. Get the ball early to Bijan. Get him 8-9 targets even. The underneath stuff, let him catch the ball and run with it. Get him 30 touches in this game against Washington. That's a defense flying around, led by Daron Payne. In the middle there, there's the youngster that's playing at a high level, Jimmy Newton, Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu. These guys are in the middle, one of the best linebacker duos in football. Wagner still at a high level after all of this time. Trey Amos and Mikey Sanders still the cornerbacks. Not to break down over half their defense and throw that in your face, but these guys are playing at a high confident level. I just think Atlanta will be able to take the top of it. Drake London one-on-ones against the young corners. Darnell Mooney over the middle of the field. Kyle Pitts, the weapons for Atlanta. This is a great matchup. I like Atlanta to win 24-20. Pull off the win in that one. And that does it for our picks in week 4. Let me know down below in the comments what you think of these picks. Where did I get them right? What would you have changed if you were coming up with the picks yourself? Appreciate you so much. Make sure to subscribe for more football content in the future. We have so much more to get into every single week, and so you don't want to miss any of that. Blitz with Blender, we come at you every single day. Fired up that football is still back. Going to keep saying that until October, so I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder, hi everybody, I'm Josh Blunder.
To the